What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing. We've got a great video, very frustrating video, but great video for you guys today. Looks like we've gotten more rate cuts. Before we jump in this video, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Solo. Solo is the best app for making more money as a rideshare driver, hands down. It gets you access to guaranteed pay, and on top of that, the app is packed full of incredible features. Guaranteed pay obviously being the best one there. They say the average solo driver makes at least an extra $5K a year. So check it out, guys. Our viewers are also going to get $10 just for signing up. And let's jump into the video. So big topic point for a lot of drivers, especially experienced ones that really understand the app, is that something has happened again because we are clearly making less and less money. So Uber basically said, and Lyft did too, that as the economy opened back up, and even very recently they did interviews where they were like, oh, we're surging, we're soaring, we're doing so well. But we're seeing less and less money. And that upfront fares thing they unveiled, I do really think there was a cut in there. So listen to this. Uber and Lyft fares surge as pandemic recedes, but drivers don't get piece of pie. Socializing parties and late night trips are all back as everything recedes in the US. Along with them has come a surge in the price of calling a cab. It's a good news for Uber and Lyft, but for the rideshare drivers who were hit so hard, not so much. We're making less than normal, said Robert Eaton of Reno, Nevada, a full-time Uber driver for over 2 years. He tries to work as many hours as possible every week to provide for his family, citing his most common shift is 16 hours, noon to 4 a.m. While fares have skyrocketed in this market, the driver's pay has not been raised at all, and it may have even lessened. Eaton said several recent changes have driven down pay for drivers, including an increased cancellation waiting time, a reduction in minimum pay for long-distance trips. That's probably the most annoying one for me. Also, with significantly increased fares, Eaton said there have been no raises to compensate for increased costs of living in his area or rising gas prices. As there has been a driver shortage in my area, Uber continues to pay lower costs per mile and offer more unattainable so-called bonuses. And that is so true. They do these bonuses for like 70 rides and amounts that are honestly not easy to hit. Like 50 is a lot, but I can usually hit 50 with ease. But whenever it's 60 or 70, I'm always like, man, that's a lot of driving this week. They're chewing their way through a never-ending supply of drivers who think they can get bonuses only to find out that it's nearly impossible, said Eaton. Giovanni Tarago, a full-time Uber driver for 4 years in the Chicago, Illinois area, said rideshare drivers used to receive significantly higher portions of fares, but the percentage Uber and Lyft takes from fares and distributes to drivers for compensation has reduced over the years from around 60 to 75% to a fraction of the fare in many cases. And that's something that I was like, I swear I'm losing even more than what they say on so many rides. And if you ever have someone that's like cool and you feel comfortable, be like, hey, like just explain to them, like, I feel like they're taking more money than they tell me. Like, if you're not comfortable, it's totally okay, but would you mind sharing with me like the cost of your ride, just because I feel like I'm being lied to? Some Uber drivers have reported even being charged for providing passengers with rides, cases that have been attributed to software glitches on the app. Oh my gosh. Drivers' wages are not directly tied to surge pricing, so we end up getting the short end of the stick, said Ken Parks, also an Uber driver. What's happening now is Uber and Lyft are charging high on-demand prices to the passengers, charging them surge rates, and most of the time the rates aren't passed off evenly or fairly to drivers, said Tarago. Drivers are not getting their rightful piece of the pie when riders are charged very high fares, and since fares are already so high, the riders are less likely to tip on the app. And that's another thing I noticed on a lot of surge rides, and I've tried to dispute them so many times, but I mean, you guys know what it's like. Like, that's a pointless battle practically. But I would have surge rates where I would pick up a pretty nice surge ride, and it would like literally look like just the normal fare. And I'm like, this makes no freaking sense. Uber and Lyft drivers in California have reported rollback of features and pay cuts over the past several months after Prop 22, a ballot measure that allowed ride-sharing companies to classify their drivers as independent contractors rather than employees went into effect after an expensive lobbying effort by gig companies. Companies are currently spending millions of dollars on public relations efforts around the US, including donating to community groups through political action committees to publish opinion stories supporting Uber and Lyft and oppose efforts to classify gig workers as employees. That's the other thing. They pay sometimes hundreds of millions in settlements. They pay for all this garbage, but they don't pay us. The companies found a great solution to the problem. Drivers can no longer see what passengers pay most of the time, said Nicole Moore, in regards to Uber shifting back to a model in California used in the rest of US where drivers' compensation is based on time and distance driving with added surge bonuses. We have always been their piggy bank. They squeeze drivers when they need cash. They need a lot of cash now, so they're squeezing drivers and passengers right now. And that's the thing. It's not even about what they say, because we can't trust what they say because they lie. Like day in and day out, they lie. And so we always get left in these places where we could swear on our lives they're doing shady things with our pay, with surge pricing. I really believe there's times where they've taken tips. And I had one ride, this was like 2 years ago, I remember, where the lady like flat out told me, we had an amazing conversation, nice long ride. She was like, hey, I threw you 20 on the app. And I was like, oh, thank you so much. And so I had ended the ride like as we were pulling up and nothing's showing up. And I was like, hey, I'm not trying to be a stickler. I was like, I legitimately believe you, but I think Uber took the tip. I was like, can you show me on the app? Sure enough, it showed that she had tipped 20 bucks. Wasn't for me, and it never came in. And so I was like, man, these people, like, I could swear they are doing the like shadiest of behaviors. And it's like Nicole Moore said, whenever they're really tight, they pull some stuff and get away with it. And one day, I just hope one day somehow we can somehow do a deep dive and figure out what they've done, because it is way more than what they say. There's way more of a cut than what they say. And everyone right now on every thread, every forum is saying something happened because I'm losing even more money. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Are you guys seeing the same thing? Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out Solo Guys so you can get some guaranteed pay, make some more money while you're out there. Get a quick 10 bucks just for signing up, and stay tuned for more updates.